beginnen mit weiter Video.
There were about 400,000 documents containing 38 million words. How did the Bureau work through that big amount of data?
Now, what we did was initially we created a search engine so we could look for keywords that we felt would throw up the stories within the data. Now, the data itself was of significant action reports filed by the US military. These were necessarily open to soldier self-censorship. They were often a snapshot picture, and they were often out of context. And where the investigation, where our team had to put its strengths, was in creating context, looking for corroboration of the stories where possible, and making a film. We went to Iraq to look to see if we could verify some of the stories.
How many people were involved in that?
The team went to Iraq was quite small. It was only 2 people. However, we had over 25 people working day in, day out for the last 11 weeks, trying to find the best and the most powerful stories that the information contained. And by identifying key issues, we then had to go through the data one by one. So, for instance, if you type in chocolate into the data, we suddenly found 28 reports listing chocolate. Now, some of these were involved in Al-Qaeda placing chocolate boxes in the streets, trying that children may open them, and then these would blow up in order to kill children and then create greater strife within the communities. And sometimes the chocolate was referring to chocolates taken by suicide bombers before they went on their mission, and they would lace chocolate with drugs to give them a euphoric high. Now, all of these were in the report, but each one had obviously a different context and a different meaning.
Wikileaks didn't release all the Iraq documents they have. Did this affect the quality of the material you were working on?
We had access to all of the information that they had pertaining to these files. It was not redacted for our eyes. However, we have ensured that the small number of files that we chose to publish on our website, that they were redacted.
How did you become part of the group of media given look into the documents in first place?
Being the only not-for-profit investigative body in the UK, we were uniquely placed to offer more than any other production company. We would be able to throw as many people as it would take to find the stories hidden in the data, because we were backed up by invaluable philanthropic funding. We were throwing more than the current market conditions permit in terms of journalism. We allocated over 20 people whose job it was day in, day out to look through these files, looking for themes and looking for stories.
Was there a cooperation with the other media who released this recent leak?
The headlines I've been describing, we gave those headlines to the other organizations via The Guardian. However, we worked actively with Le Monde by giving them the copy so that they had their material. We were also making a documentary for Channel 4 Dispatches and for Al Jazeera Arabic and English.
You were building up the Irak-Dokumenten webpage, probably publishing the biggest amount of reports based on that leak. This website is not licensed under normal copyright. What was your major revenue then from your work on the war logs?
It costs obviously a significant amount of money to make a film. You have to hire editors, you have to send crews places, and most importantly, you have to buy archive in. It may be shocking, but do you know that you actually have to pay to show, to broadcast the images of torture? So you actually have to pay money to show that sort of information in a film. And so clearly the Bureau would not have been able to pay for everything. And so, as is normal with independent production companies, the broadcasters contributed towards the production costs. However, the journalism was absolutely sustained by the foundation funding that the Bureau of Investigative Journalism has received from its philanthropists.